That 3, 4, 5 section, there's a spotter there. There's a spotter, and I guess that would be 11. So probably like the final corner, kind of cresting probably the bridges over the railroad or whatever there's there is probably a pretty blind spot. But overall, that one's not too bad. It's something we kind of deal with at every road course a little bit. And part of me wonders if we could race road courses without a bunch of spotters, honestly. Yeah. I kind of wonder that. I actually had a conversation, or I remember talking with Chastain, and he said that, and I actually kind of wonder if, how much. Not, you obviously need a spotter. You need your main guy, right, to communicate safety, yellows, all that stuff. But sometimes I wonder if we overthink all the different, having one in every corner, because it's just impossible to cover it all.
As someone who has one win on the season, but a little on the lower end of the one-win teams, and with it looking more than possible that we might actually get to that 16-winner mark in the regular season, do you still feel as though you're actually locked into the playoffs?
Anything can happen, but there's some guys in front of us in points that haven't won, but most of we're ahead of a lot of people that haven't won. So, if we were to get to 16 winners, I'm sure with Daytona and the road courses coming around, that some of those guys would be behind us in points. So, anything can happen, but I think at this point we still feel good about our position.
What's more valuable then going forward is trying to get a second win, or trying to bolster those points to make sure if the winner does get bumped out, it's not you?
I think it depends. Obviously getting a second win is the most important. But yeah, if we can get some stage points and good finishes along the way, I don't think we'll have an issue.
In-season challenge, battle for $1 million. How exciting is that to start now?
Yeah, it's a cool deal. I think it'll be a cool deal for the fans. I think for us as drivers, I don't think it changes too much, right? I'm sure we'll pay attention to the guy we're racing and how the race goes. But aside from that, I think we're going to try to go out and win every week. And if we beat everybody else in the race, then we'll advance.
Going up against Nemechek, what's your scouting report against him?
He's had a good season. We've had a good season, and I feel like it's probably fairly even. But you go to a place like this, anything can happen.
Tell me you haven't watched any extra film?
No, not anything out of the normal that I would do every week. So looking at
do you think it's going to maybe pick up after this week when you get a better feel for how the whole thing works?
Yeah, the in-season challenge. I think it's very cool, and having a shot to race to win $1 million, I think that's what it pays, and to be able to go to the tracks that's on the schedule too. Atlanta is pretty much a coin flip, so you can knock some heavy hitters out right off the bat, and then you go to road races. There's definitely road course ringers that you could get paired up with, and same thing. So I think the choices of track for the in-season tournament is pretty interesting, and it'll probably come out to be an interesting pairing for the win.
Now, do you look at the strategy of how you race these next 5? Do you change anything? Do you kind of try to keep it the same, or do you kind of have that in the back of your mind, like, okay, I want to win the race, but if I want to advance, I got this guy I'm going up against?
Well, I definitely feel like every weekend you're fighting for every position out here on the track, and if you're up front, you don't have to worry about the guy you're racing against. So you want to be as far forward as possible, and then I think sometimes in situations, if you know that the guy you're racing against is out of the race, or something that you can maintain a position instead of getting too aggressive and losing a bunch of spots, that's something you would consider.
Would you want your spotter to communicate, hey, the driver you're racing against is here throughout the race, or just at least towards the finish maybe?
I think we're pretty all aware in the car who we're racing against and where they're at on the track, and you keep that in the back of your mind. I think the big picture focus should still be for winning the race.
As someone who
is that raced their way, won their way in.
Chicago next week. It's been hampered by rain the first 2 years, but just how do you feel about that race and how it's fit into the schedule last night?
Honestly, I've enjoyed the fact that it's rained, and the reason I've enjoyed it is because it kind of shakes things up. A street course is really tough. It's very tough to pass, so when you have moments like rain and other kind of like things you can't predict, it makes it a little bit more exciting, opens up the box for strategy. So I've enjoyed it. I think it'll be different if we go there and there isn't rain.
How pivotal is a weekend like this, considering all the potential to get a ton of stage points and finish well versus the high likelihood of getting a crash in terms of the playoff cut line?
Well, I think if you race safe, you're giving up track position, you're giving up stage points. Talladega went really well for us when we just raced hard the entire time, and that's what I'm going to do as well, because this is a little bit different from Talladega and Daytona, where typically, if you look at super speedways, the crashes have happened on the front row. I don't think they're necessarily going to happen on the front row here. I think they're going to probably be on that 10th to 15th area on back. So my goal is to be aggressive and get as many stage points as we can to help ourselves have a cushion if you do have a wreck. But no, I'm fully intending on racing for the win and stage points.
With the in-season challenge, how intuitive the driver's been? Is there trash talk, bragging rights?
No, I almost feel like it's David versus Goliath a little bit. I'm the higher seed, but I'm going against Byron, who's the point leader. So that was a little bit challenging, but we've been really strong. So I feel like it's a great little, I don't know how many weeks it is. Was it 5 weeks or something like that? It's a great 5-week stretch to have something, to build some buzz. So, Byron, you're going down, bud.
So you've been with 3 different teams.
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Frontstretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Frontstretch fans can use promo code Frontstretch to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay rewarded.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Come back more for some great racing video content. And if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.